Right then, welcome back to the channel following the victory last night against Plzen. Let's have a look at the 5 things that we learned watching the game. Now, first and foremost, Rasmus Hojlund is rounding into some nice little form. We give the boy chances. He scores some goals. He's got 5 goals in 4 games under Amorim. More service, more goals. He's nowhere near the finished article. I think there's still movement patterns and stuff like that he can improve on. His out-of-the-box play can be improved on. His in-the-box play can be improved on. But he's a lot more of a threat, I think, than Xerxes. He needs to be continued to developed on and worked on. But I think there's certainly potential in there for him. And I was very impressed with the technical ability for the second. I was really, really impressed with that finish. Like I said, some people saw their arse a little bit with me saying that the ball from Bruno was horrendous. The idea wasn't horrendous. The ball was bobbling and bouncing. That's a little bit of the surface and all the rest of it. And it was more it wasn't the case that Bruno played a bad ball. It was more the case that Hojlund had a lot to do to get it under control and put it in the back of the net. But yeah, I was very happy with that finish. I thought it was excellent. Obviously, the first one is what it is, isn't it? Number 2, a bit of a boost from the bench. I don't think Anthony is a Manchester United level footballer, and I'll be absolutely flabbergasted if someone's able to make him a Manchester United footballer. But Anthony and Mount delivered a bit of an intensity improvement. Maybe it was Anthony playing right wing back gave us that extra attacking threat versus having a defender in there that really pushed United on in that. So far, what we're seeing from Amorim is there's been good game management. We are seeing him make positive changes with substitutions and tactics as a manager. Every sub that he made added something, I thought, last night, and it shows the importance of having a squad that's got options and a higher floor level. Like I said, even though I'm pretty sure Anthony's career at United is we're counting it down, I think, at the moment. I don't think there's going to be a kicking on point from here, but I'll give him his credit. He came on and, all right, can we just stop letting him shoot? Be a lot easier to watch him play if we weren't allowed to shoot. But, he brought a level of intensity, and sometimes that can be enough. And last night, it was enough. Diallo. I don't think it was a perfect game from him, actually. But he was still our best and most threatening player. He looks capable of creating something out of nothing. It looks like he's got the ability to create magic as well. Like, he's getting braver in his actions. And I'd like to see him be even more brave with it as well, because close control is naughty. We finally got to see him in the 10 position. I think seeing him in the 10 position with a more offensive right-sided player outside him, we would have seen even more. I thought the fact that we played 5 defenders, essentially, 2 midfielders and 3 attackers. The first hour or so, we saw that in the way the game was going. It was a little bit toothless from United, and actually United really opened our legs when we put more and more attackers on for the last half an hour of the game. But he was still great. He made the first goal. I think we're going to see more of him in the 10. But I think we've got to sort out our wing-backs. Buying a left wing-back, because I don't think we've got one at the club unless they're going to give Harry Amas the opportunity. And I think on the right-hand side, figure out who it is that's going to play there. Is it going to be a Mazraoui? Is it going to be Anthony? Is it, is it Delo? Not having a good time of things at the moment. Whoever it's going to be, we've got to figure that out, and we've got to make that happen. And I think once we figure that out and make that happen, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot as a team, and we've got options as well. And I'm not against Diallo playing in that right wing spot either. I think he offers a hell of a lot there, but then we've got to get the right person inside him. So either way, options aren't a bad thing. But yeah, Diallo, best player on the pitch, I thought, for United at least last night anyway. Hey lads, listen, if you are looking for smarter, sharper calls when it comes to the game, I've got just the thing for you. That's acepicks.ai. With over 8 years of expert data behind it, this powerful platform is designed to help you understand sports like never before. So what's acepicks.ai? It's an advanced AI-driven platform that analyzes massive amounts of data to give you accurate insights into upcoming matches. Whether you're a seasoned fan or you're just getting started, Ace Pick is going to help you stay on top of your game with tools like a pick selection for the latest in data-backed recommendations, the Stats Hub, which is going to give you deeper insights into a player or a team performance. They've got weekly blogs that are packed with strategies, expert tips, and the latest in sports news. A terminology section that helps explain some sports jargon and make it a little bit beginner friendly, and calculators to quickly analyze potential outcomes. What makes Ace Picks different is that it's the focus on data, helping you enjoy sports in a smarter way, whether you're competing in fantasy leagues, sharing predictions with friends, or just improving your understanding of the game. And a quick note, sports should always be fun and responsible. Use Ace Picks to enhance your love of the game and never as a guarantee. Remember, it's about making informed decisions and enjoying the process. If you're ready to level up your sports strategy, click the link in the description and check out acepicks.ai. Smarter picks, better decisions, and more wins in fantasy and beyond. What's not to love? Number 4, where does Rashford fit? I thought there was potential to see effectiveness from him with Xerxes being the 9, played in that sort of left side 10 position, but he didn't look like he fit that. There wasn't a lot of belief or intent with any of his actions either. He just doesn't look happy. He is really off it. He's playing like a man with zero confidence. He's playing like a man that doesn't care. He was subbed at 55 minutes, and it makes you wonder, what's the manager thinking about this here with him? Because on paper, this is like, I think he's the highest paid player at the club. Where does he go from here? You know, you've got a number 9 that's scoring. That is more of what we would call an all-round, complete forward number 9 in Hojlund, who's also quick and can play on the shoulder. That's Rashford's main attribute. Hojlund also presses better than Rashford. What attributes is Marcus bringing to the table to play in that specific position? Can you make a wing-back out of him? I would be surprised if you can make a wing-back out of him. I don't know what's going on with him. And I'd love to know what's going on with him. And I'd love to see him get it back. Like I've said for how long, I just don't have the confidence that he's going to get it back at the moment. Something's well off with him. And that's why I'm leaning towards if he is for sale in January, I take that offer, because I just don't have the confidence he can get it back. And he's certainly not on his own. There is at least half a dozen players at that club that I think, I don't have the confidence you're going to turn this around. But, I guess we'll find out in the near future what that's going to be. And then finally, a huge sum needed. There's been 600 plus spent on this squad, and there's still so much missing. The recruitment has been awful. This summer aside, actually, I think, I don't know if the jury's out on Xerxes or not, but Xerxes, he might end up having his uses in certain tactical situations. What they are, we are yet to see. But he does offer something different, which I think is generally a good thing, because having just one way of playing isn't a good thing. When you look at the rest of the signings this summer, there's been some bloody good signings. I think De Ligt has been a fantastic sign. I think Mazraoui's been a fantastic signing. I think they're all real positives that we can take into the season and beyond. But when you look at the last decade and the amount of money wasted, Anthony, even Maguire to a greater or lesser degree, Mason Mount, there's been so much money wasted there that the team, by and large, doesn't have the technical ability, doesn't have the dynamism, doesn't have the physicality. We lack athletes. There are some players with good decision making, but we need more. It's almost criminal negligence the way Manchester United have been run over the last 10 years. There's been some good signings that feel like they've been signed more by accident than by deliberate judgment. And because of the new regulations with the Premier League in an attempt to make things fairer, there's PSR and FFP restrictions on what United can do. We get no credit for having spent nearly $2 billion for the privilege of the Glazers owning us. Why can't that go into a fucking PSR calculation? That we can just spend a bit more because of the hindrance that we've had of that. We've got no benefit for that whatsoever. It's bullshit. You know, if they give a fuck about profit and sustainability, if you really give a fuck about profit and sustainability, you'd have forced the Glazers to sell us. You forced Roman Abramovich to sell Chelsea. Why can't you force the fucking Glazers to sell United? How is it profitable and sustainable to allow a club to have $2 billion drained out of it in interest and debt repayments? If you really give a fuck about profit and sustainability, you force them to sell. You make a law and you say, you can't own this football club under the circumstances that you've got it, off your fucking pop. Roman Abramovich was forced to sell his club because of a fucking war that he had nothing to do with. Make that make sense. Meanwhile, you pretend like you give a fuck about profit and sustainability, and you still allow the Glazers to be taking dividends out of this football club. Nah. Regulators, go fuck yourself. You fucking embarrassment, the lot of yous. Anyway, have a nice day. We'll do player ratings in a little bit, and we'll get deep into every single player, because obviously I still want to touch on Onana, and there's a hell of a lot of other players that need to be talked about as well. So join me a little bit later on for that. And shout out to everyone that's just joined as a YouTube member, and shout out to all those that have just become Patreon members as well. I did put a little update about IRL Fest on there. It will be going to Patreon first, and there's only going to be 50 tickets. So if you want to get involved, come join Patreon. We just dropped a video on IRL yesterday about zombies, zombie apocalypse, how me and Janine would do, and Janine's leaving me as well. So there's an update on that. Go and check it out. It's in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.